Hello there,
Hello there.
and welcome to What If Qui-Gon Didn't Die? My name is Jamie.
And my name is Shaun.
We love talking about all things Star Wars.
We do. Oh my goodness.
Oh my giddy aunt.
And since starting this, my what's it called? On the old Instagram. My algorithm has changed. And now I've got all these little lore videos popping up. This is what I'm talking about. All the little stuff from the books that I don't know much about. Oh, hello there.
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. You know how they filmed the Wilhelm scream?
Yeah. Yeah, our algorithms have changed for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
better.
But yeah, absolutely. Slightly nerdier.
Yeah.
So every week we talk about something Star Wars related, be it a what if sort of question where we come up with our own headcanon for the existing world of Star Wars, the galaxy far, far away.
The nonsense smithery.
Yes. Or, like today, we discuss something that is happening on the screens at the moment.
Yeah, something we are all immersed in. And we're going to talk today about the Acolyte, the 17,000th episode of podcasts you can find out there based on the Acolyte. But
this is our final Series 1 chat of the Acolyte.
This is our farewell, this is what we thought discussion.
Yes, this is our little overview of the Acolyte.
Yeah.
So, let's get into it. Shall we start with... would you like to start with the last episode, or would you like to start with the series as a whole?
Shall we do the last episode?
Sounds good.
And then because that does affect the series.
How you feel about the series,
overall,
yes.
Yeah. Last episode. Now, we said this before we started recording.
Yeah.
Every episode has had the online hatery.
Oh,
There's been a lot of bad reviews about the Acolyte here.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Everybody I've spoken to outside of mine and yours little bromance have all loved it.
Yeah.
Kids and adults alike. Because Nick, he's got little Nipper watching it with him.
Yeah.
Loves every second of it.
Good.
And Nick loves every second of it. And like us, he did say, first couple of episodes, he thought maybe they could have gone a bit differently.
Yeah.
But he still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was still Star Wars. It was still a different view on something we base on Alec Guinness's performance of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
This is the thing. We cannot keep expecting Alec Guinness style stuff, because it was a very different time when that was made, filmed, choreographed. You know, Lucas could have wanted a ninja to do it, but back then, you know, prosthetics were cardboard suits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The CGI game was very, 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 very low.
Yeah. Virtually non-existent.
Yeah, you know, and stunt blokes were doing tricks on motorbikes for like The Great Escape and that. It were all cowboy films. It wasn't these back-flipping jiu-jitsu masters, you know, not breaking their backs, jumping off of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So we have to accept that times have moved on, and the way they present the story to us is different. And I think a lot of people will agree with that. But anyway.
So, final episode. Let's bring it back on target. So where do we start in the episode?
Oh god. Here we go again, people.
Testing the old memory.
The memory of the podcast.
Right. So we've got Qui-Mare
and Osha on the planet.
And they're on
she
together.
put the helmet on, didn't she?
Briefly.
And then obviously she starts to scream.
Yes.
Qui-Mare tries to take it off. Now, Qui-Mare has a little funny attack, doesn't he? He almost has a seizure, if we want to put it politically correctness. But his eyes go black and he sort of goes, no, as if he wants to take the helmet off her, but there's another power stopping him.
Yeah.
You know, and he's getting controlled. much like the Padawan and the Wookiee
Yes.
getting controlled by the witches.
Yeah, in the previous episode.
That says to me, the witch that got away, the actual Dathmiri witch, not who they called Mother, but the Dathmiri witch who carried the twins in her belly, in her womb rather. She floats away, didn't she? And then when Qui-Mare struggles like that, that makes me just think, that must be her. She must be controlling him somehow. And maybe that's why he's on this path of, you can call me a Sith, but not really, because I'm just using the powers I've got.
Yeah, he's just. That's right. He is using what he's got to achieve what he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
But not necessarily for good or evil.
It's just for his own gain.
Yeah.
So, which I really wouldn't call Sith-like, but it's like he said, about it. In the end, he gets the helmet off, and we're all left thinking, wow, something's going on there. Because I don't actually think Qui-Mare is a bad guy.
No, I like Qui-Mare a lot.
I like his character.
Yeah, once he's not got when he's got the helmet off, and he talks in logic.
Yeah, and he's not unpleasant.
No, and I think this goes back to what we said previously about the Sith always deal in absolutes.
Yeah.
In a previous episode, we mentioned actually the Jedi deal in absolutes.
Yeah.
You can, you can't, you can, you can't.
Yeah,
the Sith do what they want, when they want, to the degree that they want to, and I think he sees that.
Yeah.
And that's the freedom he desires. So he does what he wants. So I like Qui-Mare for that. But once he puts the helmet on, once he's in, what can you call it, attack mode, because he's got some Jedi chasing him, or he's just in a situation where he knows he's got to defend himself.
Yes.
He's either got to fight or he's going to be chased.
Yeah, he's fight or flight.
And he would always fight, because normally he would be able to overpower.
Yeah, he's got the skills.
All but the strongest of Jedi.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
I think we see this as well. So just skipping forward slightly, keeping on the Qui-Mare line, when he fights Master Soul later on, Master Soul would defeat him.
Yeah.
He beats him in the combat, really.
Yes.
Doesn't kill him, doesn't need to, but he's essentially subdued him. He's destroyed his lightsaber. He's proved his use of the Force is stronger. We've got flying lightsabers. He's able to push everything back and just defend, and then he's able to even slice that lightsaber in half. A great skill. And it's only when Osha and May turn up that things change.
Yeah, and he drops his guard, doesn't he?
Yeah. So back to Qui-Mare and Osha on their little getaway planet.
Holiday getaway.
On their holiday villa
little honeymoon.
Yeah. So there's to and fro about getting away from there. As they leave, we see some sort of creature in the shadows.
Yeah, and at first I thought it was a Trade Federation baddie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I know it's not that, but because my brain couldn't quite compute quick enough, it said, that's one of those guys. Can't remember the name of the alien. Somebody will let me know.
Get in touch, Brad.
Brad will let me. Yeah, so I thought it was one of them, but obviously then it's been circulated online by all of the nerds that it's actually Plagueis.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Interesting. Would make sense in the timeline because Plagueis was really old. However, I can't see him being that interested in Qui-Mare.
No, because he's not true Sith, and he doesn't appear to be an apprentice.
He's not his apprentice.
He's just somebody who happens to wield a red lightsaber and can manipulate the Force in the way that they want.
Yeah, but he's not Sith.
What I'd like to go back to is your theory that is actually the twins' mother.
Oh, looking out of the shadows, but she looks all horrible.
So, yeah, because, things have happened. She's given birth to these two twins.
She's Dathmiri as it is, so she's got the horns and the evil face and blah, blah, blah.
She's got away. She's found Qui-Mare along the way. Perhaps she's trained Qui-Mare. Perhaps that's how he learns to wield the Force.
In the way that he does. Yes.
She is just there being sustained. She lives
like
there.
Like a leech. Like Voldemort in the first Harry Potter film.
And why not?
Professor Quirrell.
Now, this might be all nonsense, but welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's very good. And then, of course, when she's looking out of the cave, she's thinking, well, that's Osha, not May. She knows Osha is the powerful one. Did she already say? Oh, no, it was May who was the powerful one when they were growing up.
May was the one who had all the powers as we watched the series. And Osha
growing up
has no powers because she's either shunned them or forgot or just couldn't, just didn't ever learn how to wield them.
Yeah, and she was very slow as a child to bring it up. Yeah, because I don't think that's Plagueis. I think it's a bit too, because Plagueis has always been said to be obsessed with immortality. What does he need Qui-Mare? What's Qui-Mare doing? He's a speck of dust. Really, I know he's a jiu-jitsu master and all the rest of it. He's really good. Like, his character is really good and aggressive, and how I think a Sith would be when using the Force that way.
Do you not think it would be a bit of a Route One answer? People have jumped online and gone, yes, this is Darth Plagueis, but do you not think it's like, oh, we've got a character who we know exists but we've never seen, so now we've got a prequel. Shall we drop this character in?
I don't think they would do that. They need to keep him mystified.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, do you think that if they dropped him in, that'd be just too easy? Like,
yeah, it'd be well too easy.
In the same way that later on they shoehorn Yoda in right at the end.
Yeah.
Which, okay, yes, we know Yoda would be there because of his age. He's an old man. So shoehorn him in, that provides a little bit of fan service. Everybody loves Yoda. Everybody loves something that looks like Yoda.
Yeah.
Grogu, etc., etc. So just drop him in. So having Plagueis there as well. Plagueis might be there in the next series. But
he could have an input, but I don't understand why he would be. They would have to write it so well for him to actually be interested, and for him to be in the cave and Qui-Mare and Osha not know. And I mean, I know he's got his Force blank and his Force cloak, and he's like, nobody knows he's there. But are you trying to tell me then that he's got the same powers as the witches? Because when Qui-Mare went obviously black-eyed and he couldn't take the helmet off, that wasn't like the Force. That was the witches' version of the Force. So yeah, it's unless they're trying to tell us that he just knows every spell, Force use, trick in the book. He's Doctor Strange and can use every sort of magic thing going.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I would be more happy if there was a season 2 and we found out it was the mother.
Yeah.
The one that got away, the Dathmiri.
And looking for revenge.
Looking for revenge. She actually wanted Osha, not May. She probably knew that May would give up the ghost and let Qui-Mare, really strangely, by the way, wipe her mind. That bit confused me a bit, because why couldn't Qui-Mare just say, well, there's enough room on my ship for all of us?
Yeah, it'd be interesting that all three couldn't go.
It's but like May kind of inwardly decided that she wanted to not do that anymore.
I think it's more a case of she's subdued.
Yeah.
Because she sees that Osha has got the stronger powers. She has done what May wanted to do.
Oh, yes.
By accident. So she's maybe like, oh, okay, I can't do this. I'm not the right one. I'm going to give up now.
Yeah.
Wipe the mind, because then somebody can ask you questions and you physically can't answer them.
Yeah, and they can't Jedi mind trick you into telling them because you just don't know.
So at that point, you're still loyal, I suppose. She would still be loyal to Qui-Mare.
Yeah.
But then Qui-Mare would be like, well, you're not allowed to tell anybody, so you need to have your mind wiped. And she's going to go, yeah, of course. Of course I will, because that's what you need.
Yeah.
That's my purpose now. And then she's allowed to be caught, and they can ask all questions. But then it also opens up, find a master soul, and he's died, and they can blame him and say suicide or whatever it was, and kind of like twist the truth, the Jedi twisting the truth.
Yeah.
So that it all seems okay.
And this is actually quite a good moment there when I forget the name of the master with the whip saber.
Yeah.
Which is a cool little thing, by the way, from the books. Anyway, yeah, they make the lie, and you see at the end she's bent down by Soul, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, my friend." Why sorry? Why aren't you telling the truth? I don't think anybody's going to give two shits. Master Soul actually did the right thing, because A, they were a cult of witches, which is viewed as bad anyway, and then B, they took over a Padawan and Soul saved his life. So in the eyes of the Republic, surely
it's defense.
It's defense, and they'll go, "Oh, it doesn't matter what the Senate knows. Oh, what, they found a cult of witches, or the Padawan was in danger, but he saved him. Oh, all right then."
Yeah.
It's this whole sort of like, Master Soul burnt the village down, and then he killed, and this is just closing the book so that we don't hear about him in the prequels, because obviously nobody's going to talk about him. But maybe, this leads on to our main man, Qui-Gon. What if he knows? What if he knew that the Jedi are lying scum, and he's like, "Well, I'm part of the Order, but I'll tell you what, Obi-Wan, if he survived the fight with Maul, he'd go, right, you're old enough now. Listen to this. Listen to what a lying bunch of scumbags they are, including Yoda, which is why Dooku."
As you look back, I was just going to mention Dooku. Dooku would have probably been not that long after.
Yeah.
He would have been trained by Yoda. Maybe Yoda would have mentioned it. Then Dooku passes it on to Qui-Gon.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Qui-Gon perhaps. You never know how these things would have panned out.
But you can see why. And I know Dooku doesn't leave the Order solely because they're a bunch of lying toe rags. Excuse me. But you can understand why Dooku deserts the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Because he can see that it acts on grace, but underneath is just like a bad river.
Bad
River of poo under there. And it was quite upsetting actually, because you really grow to like Soul as a character. I did anyway.
He's a great character, and yes, he did the right thing in his eyes the whole way through, and he didn't do anything that was particularly bad. He just kept a secret.
Yeah. And I mean, he could have told Osha straight away, or maybe when she was a bit older. I know she was represented to be, 11? 10? 8? She's got to be the same as Anakin's age. Because
too old, though, so probably, the same as Anakin would have been.
Yeah, because, there just had to be correlations between, literal Jesus and then these twins that were born.
From a convergence,
yeah, which is just nuts. She's telling me the Force impregnated Smee. Yeah, convergence. but he didn't. Anakin was conceived purely by the Force. I'm not having anybody tell me it was Palpatine, so F off. Even if they make it canon, still not in my head. But these witches had to create fetuses and sperm to make the natural facts of life and breed the twins. Anyway, that aside, Soul, like you say, like when the Padawan climbed the wall and he had to fight the Wookiee as well, and they were doing the chant, he actually shouldn't have gone back. He didn't want to go back. He said to Indara, "We need to go back for the girls." Indara started off by saying no, and it looked like, we're going back an episode or two here, that he was going to give up, wasn't he? He was going to go, "All right, fine. You're in charge.
Yeah.
I've said me piece, but let's go." And then the Padawan gets silly and rushes off, and Indara shouts at Soul to go and get him. So Soul is forced into the place again where he probably shouldn't be, because again it's just, he's in there again, even though he shouldn't have gone back there. He's had to go back, and now he's fighting the Wookiee, and that's actually a really cool fight scene, by the way. I love the fact he nearly Tommy Shelby's the guy's head into the wall. That Padawan would have died though. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
A Wookiee can just rip a man in half.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're telling me that Padawan could just survive his head getting crushed. But yeah, I really liked Soul, and I liked his fight at the end, and I like how he was so close to being restrained and yet confident in his abilities.
Yeah.
He could have had Quimir. Could have absolutely trounced him. But I think he wanted to find out where Osha and May were.
Yeah, he's thinking bigger picture, isn't he?
Yeah. And then, of course, when they come out, he stumbles and turns into a quivering wreck, which I'm not quite sure why, because we've seen Soul be really forceful.
I think he's just a bit blindsided because he's having a fight, then all of a sudden,
his girls show up, like his littlings that he wanted to take care of, show up,
and then he's like, "Oh, I've got to protect them, or I need to find out. I need to explain more."
Yeah,
there's a confrontation there, isn't there? Like, explain what's happened. Why?
Yeah,
is it true that you killed?
Yeah,
my
mother.
Exactly.
Oh, she was flown around me in magic, so I just shoot my lightsaber and got her somehow in the guts, even though she was particle dust. like if I was Soul, I would have just stood there and gone, look, she didn't have any plot armor, all right? It was a mistake. My senses told me to draw my weapon, and I did. Granted, he didn't have to, but the other mother's still alive. So why didn't he just say, well, your other mother escaped, so where's she? He could have literally said, stop having a go at me, your mother's abandoned you. And then they'd go, oh yeah, we're really angry with her. Thanks. Don't force choke me. Just, obviously, spoilers, by the way, people, if you haven't seen it.
It's a bit late for that.
Bit late for that. Don't force choke me. Go and find your other bloody mother. Because he's so hell-bent, and he knows exactly what he wants, and he knows exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And yet the second he sees them two girls, he turns into a blabbering idiot.
It's just, it's just...
And I get it. And I get it. Like, I'm not saying it's bad writing,
I think it's just him dealing with his shame, isn't it?
Yeah, which Indara told him to do.
Yeah.
So, again, it's all of these, like, he is the quintessential wrong place, wrong time man. Like, all of his life, apparently. Wrong place, wrong time. Because Soul should have just been like, he should have killed Qui-Man, he should have gone, look, don't care, I'll leave the Jedi Order if I have to.
Yeah.
He's dead. You two, what do you want? Force choking me? He could have quite easily have force battered Osha out the way. He is so much more powerful than her, and he just let her force choke him.
Yeah.
I just cannot understand why he thought, I'm so guilty, I'm going to slowly die.
I think that's it, isn't it? The guilt has consumed him, and he's trying to get that point across the whole time.
Yeah.
And he probably thinks that she's going to release him.
But she doesn't.
But she doesn't.
Yeah.
But he's waiting.
He's waiting for her to release him.
He's waiting for forgiveness.
Yeah.
But that forgiveness never comes. But he's just... If he attacks, then that's it, isn't it? The trust.
He's proven his point then, isn't he?
So he has to kind of submit.
Yeah.
And just hope.
I mean, it's nice that there's a finality to it. Because we all really liked Soul. And he was quite a big pulling point when they first obviously released the advert for it. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's...
Squid Game guy.
And he actually looks really cool as a Jedi.
Yeah, he does.
And if they do another series and he comes back, they can do more flashbacks. Oh, look. There's Soul in a flashback.
Yeah.
Really nice to see him. I'm still not too sure about why they had to lie about May and say that Soul did all these things. Because I know they want to cover up the Sith. But Qui-Gon already said he wasn't a Sith. And they could have just said, oh, my old Padawan is running around causing mischief. Most of this is his fault.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to say that. Old Master, what's her face? Green skin.
Yeah.
The near Argonian woman. And it just absolutely baffles me how we go from the prequel era Jedi Council, where everybody's basically like monks, to this weird hierarchy, World War II-esque, commander who's like, oh, somebody's read my search history. Right, kill them and tell them it was them so that they don't have to read my search history again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit like, I don't want to rant about it because I still enjoyed the episode and the series as a whole. It just made me think, as well now that Yoda was there at the end, nice little cameo there of his ears.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nice bit of fan service there. He could have gone, you're lying to me. So hopefully in a series 2, Yoda just goes, lying to me, you are. I know everything.
Well, we've never seen her before.
Yeah.
So, there is every chance that there's a reason for that. Yeah.
Oh, she's ashamed about Qui-Gon. She knows he ran off.
There must be. So let's. This is quite a good place to bridge into what we might see in the next season.
In series 2, yeah.
So has it been officially announced? I mean, we're left on a cliffhanger ish.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, let's just assume that there's going to be a season 2 and what we might like to see in a season 2. It's left on a cliffhanger. So Yoda, we see the back of Yoda's head. Needs to talk to Green Woman.
Yeah.
Quimir and Osha are now MIA. There's some weird creature in a cave somewhere who may or may not be Plagueis or
the Night Mother, sort of witch, doth marry.
Yeah. And we've got May, who we're not really sure what's going to happen to her. She's been taken in by the Jedi, but
will she be palmed off like Luke were?
Or will she be punished? But they can't punish her because there's no memory.
And if
they know she's a twin.
And if she's force sensitive, what's going to happen to her when she's older? I mean, I know she won't live for 100 years, but at some point Palpatine's going to be born. He's going to meet Plagueis, kill Plagueis, and try and do his sort of cloning stuff. Who's to say he won't just take May and go, I need your blood? And then he locks her up and bloody drains her dry like a vampire.
Oh, could do, yeah.
Because he needs her midichlorians, because she is, before Anakin came along, a miracle of the Force.
Yes.
Maybe we'll see that. I've just had a check. No Series 2 as of yet. Although I do just hope that if they do a Series 2 that they sort of just stay steady, take a deep breath, and sort of fill some gaps from Series 1, because that would be really nice. Yeah. Definitely want to see more about how the Jedi Order sorts itself out within that 100 years. You know, they're so hell-bent on there's no Sith. We need to tell everybody there's no Sith. Like, the whole galaxy cannot really give two monkeys about what the Space Wizards are doing.
And it's a long time, isn't it, between that story and the story we catch up with.
Yeah.
A lot can happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's crazy, you know, from Qui-Gon going to the Trade Federation thing. The Jedi Order changes to the point where you don't see, I mean, I know they are around, but you don't see a bunch of knights running around and there's 20 Jedi in one spot.
No.
Because something's happened to them.
Yeah, they don't go out in force anymore. They go out as investigators, single... Like
Sherlock Holmes's and Dr. Watson's.
All detectives, yeah.
But maybe this is because at the end of the Acolyte, obviously the bloke who's in the Senate says, well, maybe it's time to really discuss the Jedi and what they do here. Do you remember that guy? I can't remember his name. One of the senators. Yeah. And he speaks to Master, Upper Self at the end.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because they're on the round table. They're on the board, aren't they?
Yeah. And he's trying to obviously sort of say, well...
He wants the full-scale investigation.
Yeah, exactly. Which is quite good, really. Yeah. And if they do have one, maybe this is why it leads into... I know it's 100-year difference, but maybe this is sort of how we get to Episode 1 and why it's just Qui-Gon and his little Padawan going to the trade ship when actually they could have sent a couple of ships.
Yeah, perhaps that's the point. This investigation finds them to be a force rather than, a group of people. They're not a religion.
Yeah.
But they should be a religion. But they shouldn't be out in force and stuff. They can investigate, but they have to be limited in numbers.
With the jurisdiction of the Senate.
Yeah.
If they want to bring people to justice.
Like the Senate special force, but not...
Yeah.
Not the galaxy's police.
Yeah. This is it, and I mean, obviously you have bounty hunters and stuff like that, and all the rest of it, and each place sort of has their sheriff, as seen in Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
We have Timothy Oliphant as the sheriff.
Yeah, which I quite like.
His perfect teeth. Yeah, I really like him. He is a pure cowboy.
Yeah,
like he can play any cowboy he wants. And I sort of. Maybe it'd be nice to see in the Series 2 of it sort of not being disbanded, but how the Jedi Order deal with basically being told, stop dicking about in other people's business because you're shoving your nose in and you're a bit self-righteous and you think you're always right all the time, and clearly you weren't, because in their eyes, Soul had killed all the witches and split the kids up, and now one of them's lost her mind.
Yeah, which is also an interesting way to
pass the buck.
Yeah.
When the Senate's going to hear that story and go, "God, one of your own did that."
Well, that
God, Jesus.
And that was referenced earlier in the episode, wasn't it? Like these are Jedi. They don't do anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But oh no, now we've got one that's rogue.
Yeah.
But he's actually one of the best Jedi they've got.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't really done anything particularly wrong.
Yeah.
He was just in a bad situation.
At the wrong time.
Yeah, he protected himself and he protected other Jedi. Did what he needed to do to survive, and now he's in trouble all those years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
he's not because he's dead, but they're
still slandering his name.
Yeah, his actions have created an issue for the Jedi going forward. Which based on lies told by
the Master there.
Yeah.
But then I wonder if when she goes into Yoda's room, she's like, "Oh, Master, we really need to talk about something." Do you think she's going to open up and tell him the truth and be like that? Because obviously Yoda wasn't as part of those conversations. Maybe he was listening anyway, and she could be like, "Right, I know I told the Senate this, but this is what really happened. This is the entire story." And hopefully Yoda would just literally smack her with his walking stick and go, "Naughty girl you are." But yeah, it's just great show. Storytelling, quite good. And there's so many theories. We've got the Plagueis thing, we've got the Night Mother thing, we've got what happens to Qui-Gon and Osha, because of course he touches her hand at the end, which is very...
It's too tactile for what would be seen as an evil being.
Yeah, because
he would be interested.
Yeah, he would just be, because it's a typical,
That's a sign of affection and care, isn't it?
Which the Sith apparently don't have. So he would just be like, "No, don't touch me, fool. I'm here to conquer the galaxy."
Which ironically is a Jedi trait.
Yeah, don't touch me because I'm a monk.
Yeah, basically. I'm not interested in contact.
Yeah, I can't love you or make love to you. But don't worry, if you join the Sith, you can, because they're evil. Yeah, maybe Qui-Gon was just having a little bit of boy time, and that's why they booted him out of the Jedi Order.
I think, in some sort of summary to describe this whole series, it's a classic example of needing to watch something from start to finish to appreciate the whole thing.
Yes.
I think the individual episodes at the start were quite weak.
Yes.
They probably needed to be stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'd make them stronger.
They could have had a few more flashbacks of... We could have had a few more flashbacks. We could have started the flashbacks earlier then. Do you know what I mean? Like, the first scene is a flashback, and then we go to present-day Osha and May. And then you're already on that journey, instead of meeting all the characters as adults and then going, "Well, hold on a minute. Yeah,
I don't understand what the connection is here.
Yeah, and I don't understand why Soul's allowed to look at holograms and all of this mumbo-jumbo. Yet if you had already started and you were like, "Oh, so both there's twins and they're force sensitive. That's all I need to know."
Yeah. They could have had the flashback
with the butterfly and the tree and all that.
Not even that. They could have had the flashback to all four of the Jedi searching for the convergence.
Yeah, we're looking for a convergence.
And then we flash forward to the twins at some point, or on their separate journeys.
And then you're like that.
Is
funny TV play there? Yeah, they're the convergence.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be all. It doesn't have. I think they put too much time into making it a mystery.
Yeah, and it put people off.
But there wasn't enough mystery there. It was very obvious they were going to be twins.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the end of that first episode, it's like, we've got two characters, they look the same.
Yeah.
Yes, they're twins. One's good, one's bad, yin yang, blah, blah, blah. Standard stuff.
One's evil and angry, and the other one just couldn't give a shit.
Yes, they swap sides later on.
Yeah.
You could predict that, I suppose.
Yes.
Because that's kind of... Because in the convergence, they're
one.
Soul's saying that they're the same person,
Yeah.
so flipping them is not difficult.
And I don't think it's about flipping them. I think they could both be exactly the same, but it's because twins and siblings have to do what the other one isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So if one plays football, the other one's going to do makeup, or, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, or basketball or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, well, I do this. Well, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be good at this. And I think that's sort of why it's so easily interchangeable, because they are the same person, but you're forced into a sibling sort of social thing.
Yeah.
That you don't have a choice, and you treat it like brother and sister, regardless of whether you have the same genes, thought process, nervous system. Your brain's still going to take things in differently because you're one side of the table and they're the other.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Which I think was very good anyway. Yeah, I liked it all. It's a shame we didn't see more of the Wookiee. I would love to have seen more of the Jedi characters, maybe training, or why do they fight like they're in the Matrix? This is why. Because back then the training regimes were this.
Yeah, I mean, those episodes generally were half an hour long, weren't they?
Yeah.
The final, I think, was about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
so
47 or something.
Yeah, so a little longer. But there would have been no harm in making all those episodes 45 minutes and just fleshing out some of those characters a bit more.
Yeah.
Seeing the Wookiee in action, seeing them as a unit, being strong together, and overcoming, not like characters which don't matter, but just in a scene that sort of cements them as being, these are strong, well knitted together characters. They're a team. This is what they do. And now then when we see them in the flashbacks, they're in a place where it's weird.
Yeah.
And they all react differently. And this is seeing the team broken up a bit. And what happens when the team gets broken up? They fail.
Yeah.
And then
but we don't have the context as to why.
We lose all of this because the episodes are so short.
Yeah.
And we're too busy focusing on Jedis, which are going to die in 3 episodes anyway. So
yeah,
there was so much time put into like Yord and that Padawan and a couple other characters that actually when they disappeared, it just showed how insignificant they were.
Yeah, even though they had all of that screen time to sort of...
But they should have just been developing the other main characters.
Yeah, they could have done a lot more with May and Qui-Gon, for example, when he's got his helmet on.
Now,
why? How could she never understand who he is? Why? How did he give her assignments? She went to that planet. How did she get on and off when apparently he got to swim to the boat, the ship?
Yeah.
So she was all right to just swim? Her clothes were never wet?
Yeah, don't know. There is a cynical part of me that, the voices online would say it's too woke, it's Disney, so everything's got to be woke, there's got to be quotas to be met, diversity and all this sort of stuff has got to be in.
Yeah.
So part of me wonders if they had the main characters, but they had to have Yord, who was, maybe he's a gay character.
Yeah.
Like the other Jedi looks like he's a gay character. Like, let's just add these in to the quota. We've got a young woman in there who can be strong.
Yeah.
Add a strong female character in. Tick.
Yeah.
Tick,
Padawan who
tick.
can nearly beat Qui-Gon. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a box ticking exercise.
Yeah.
Potentially. I'm not saying that this is exactly what it is. But once they've ticked those boxes, maybe then they go, right, we can remove those now. We've done the bit we need to do, and now we're going to get on with the main story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what they should have done was...
maybe done all that a bit earlier.
Yeah, or just had them in there and then just had them in the background.
Yeah,
like,
they could have still had speaking parts.
But they just turn up and go, oh yeah, I found this person.
Yeah.
Yord turns up and go, yeah, I found our share.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Nice one, Yord.
Yeah, do you want to come with us? Yeah, right then. Right, you can fly the ship. Let's go.
Yeah, but we don't need to see lots of you. We know you're there.
Yeah.
You're a Jedi Knight, which is nice to hear the title Knight.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
Because it's quite a rare thing these days. But then, yeah, you're just there to help support
Soul and the gang.
Yeah.
The main troop that we follow.
Or you support just essentially supporting Soul and Osher at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
you're just there. So when you die, it's not actually that big a deal. But your character was never developed because it didn't need to be.
Yeah.
And then we can spend more time learning about the characters which actually have an impact. On the story, which are the 4 main Jedi Masters.
Yeah.
Even though they all die.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it sounds very cynical.
No, it's not cynical at all, and it harkens back to a little bit of Rogue One. They wanted to finish off some characters, so that's it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's obviously a bit of finality to Sol, a finality to Indara and the Wookiee. Can't remember his bloody name.
Yeah, Wookiee
Jedi, which is amazing. And I know they wanted to sort of go, right, well, they can't be mentioned again because we base everything on what we know already, which is fine. But nothing would have stopped you from just having a little bit more, sprinkling of the Susie salt and the Percy pepper on them. Maybe let's have a bit of them travelling. Have they all worked together before? No. Do they understand the Wookiee? No. But are they going to work with him? Yes.
Here's the thing, though. He might have been the only Wookiee.
Oh, I think in lore there was 2.
The reason we don't hear about them later on is because they were connected to Master Soul, who got discredited because he murdered the witches.
Because he murdered the witches.
So therefore, the entire group
struck from records.
Yeah. So that's why we'd never hear from them. So we don't need any sort of grand gesture for exit. We just need to accept that as a result, this is what happened. Yes, he died, and you would have heard more, but he's tarnished. He was not on the right side. He was
working with Soul. But what I mean is, as well, during the episodes, we had a lot of talk and a lot of, you don't want to say a Wookiee's cooking's bad. No, I didn't need that line. Do you know what I could have done with? I could have done with them talking a bit more. Maybe the Wookiee doing his rumbly growls and Indara translating, going, do you know what? He thinks? He thinks that the girls should be left alone.
Yeah.
And then it's context for his character. Why did he stay behind and stay on the planet? Why is he living in a tree? Why is he not policing the obvious ruffians that live on top of the hill up there? 16,000 miles away from his gaff. Why is it poisonous to humans and not him? We could have had some answers to the build-up. So when we find the Wookiee dead, and I think this is a good thing about the series in a whole that should be said, is that, and it's like you said just now, there wasn't enough context to care.
No.
So we all went, oh my god, a Wookiee jet, amazing from the advert, amazing, amazing, green lightsaber. There's a Wookiee Jedi. I hope there's a whole episode based on this guy. Me and Matt from work were saying, I hope next episode there's a bit more about this Wookiee, maybe some flashbacks. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, they're non-consent. The context is garbage because it don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Why ain't the Wookiee training? Why isn't he slapping the Padawan around a bit and actually telling him to shut up moaning? Because he would. Why is he sat there? Chewie would have just told him to stop moaning. And all Wookiees are strong, powerful, and he's just cooking his little pork thing on the spit roast, having a great old camp time. That a bit of me just thinks, I know I'm not a lore master or anything like that, but even as a normal, person, he would have more input than that, and we could have had a bit more context and a little less drivel. And then when he did die and we did find him dead, it wouldn't have been they copped out there, because that's what the internet did. It went, they copped out by not showing us the fight scene. And I know they repaid us with a fight scene, but it was the wrong fight scene.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
We didn't need such a long struggle between Soul, the Padawan, and the Wookiee. We didn't need it to be so long.
No.
We could have had a shorter fight there, but a bit more context and maybe a little bit of, I don't know, half a scene of him fighting Qui-Mia.
Yeah.
But Qui-Mia caught him off guard, so it don't matter. But we still could have had that for context. Then we really feel for it, and then we go, Qui-Mia's a bad guy. We're starting to really not like him here. A little bit Prince Joffrey styles.
Yeah.
But of course, then it would mess us up even more, because when we see him with Osha, and we've got all that hatred. Oh, Joffrey killed the Wookiee. He's horrible. He's a sneaky bastard who went up behind him.
Yeah, and she doesn't see it.
And she doesn't see it. But then, what happens? He talks to her with respect, offers her food. And then you go, God, now I'm confused about this character.
Yeah.
Because that was a nice thing to do, yet we're all led to believe he's an absolute arsehole with a capital A.
Yeah.
And then, by the end episode, when he's fighting Soul, you're sort of going, stop, because we actually want to know more about you. But yeah, and I can see why the internet is saying what it's saying. Like I kind of get it. I mean, I don't believe it all because I really enjoyed it. But if I'm an outsider looking in and say, I mean, I'm not, but say I was a show writer, or somebody sat me down and said, we're going to do a series called The Acolyte. This is the main premise. Can you give us some pointers?
Yeah.
Like, these are the characters. We've got 8 episodes to play with. What do you think? Yeah, I could have done differently. But I think the internet needs to step away from what they think should happen and enjoy the story for what it actually is. Because, you know, look at episode 9. Palpatine's back again. He's in that chair. But all the Force ghosts help Rey. It's a bit Harry Potter-ish with all of the, you know, the ghosts coming out the wand. Who cares? Because it's still cool.
Yeah, it's just an interpretation, isn't it? The same as anybody would have done.
Yeah, and you know, you can view that one way and I could view it another. So, do you know what I mean? Because out of all them voices at the end of 9, I just think, that would really be nice if that was just Anakin's voice, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he was the first one to answer her. And then, like in Ahsoka, when they actually got Hayden Christian to do thingy.
Yeah.
Amazing. But it's the same as the Acolyte. It was amazing for what they tried to do. It's a shame some things didn't work that well, but don't believe everything that's online, people. Still give it a watch. All right, I had somebody at work the other day say, "No, I'm not watching it. You must be deluded to watch that." and you know who it was, because what they've done is they've looked online and they've gone, "Nah, I'm not watching it now," and that's a pure sort of looked online, saw what was said, and then have gone no. Even though there's people who've actually watched it saying it's actually really good.
Yeah, well, that's it. And online can be misleading.
Absolutely agree.
And you should always make your own mind up. And despite the fact that we've sat here and gone, this could be better and that could be better, I think overall, you know, we both agree that we enjoyed watching it.
Oh, yeah, loved
and we
it.
walked away at the end of the series. In fact, once we got to the halfway point...
Yeah, we were messaging each other about it, excited.
Yeah, we're like, this is getting good. This is getting good. And by the time we got to the end, it was like, yeah, right, great.
That was spicy. They're the words I said to you. That ending was spicy.
Yeah, great. It's really nice to see the development through the entire series makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, and when you get to the end, it is like the missiles landing into the Earth. Do you know what I mean? It took a long time to get there, but...
Yeah, really, really good. So, I think that's quite a good place to wrap up.
Sounds good to me.
We have talked our way through it.
Have we? How long have we been going?
Oh, we've been going
a little
50
while.
minutes, yeah.
A little while there.
So, I hope, dear listener, you've enjoyed listening to us ramble on again about the Acolyte.
Again.
But we've got a break now because...
that's it for live action stuff for a little while.
Yeah.
I can't think of what's next to come out in the old Star Wars line.
Cannot remember. I'm sure I've heard about it, but I'm not sure.
Well, we will do a bad... Now I've done those little Bad Batch videos, we'll have a good old chinwag about the Bad Batch.
Once... I will watch it, but I want to get through the boys.
Yes.
And then I promise I'll start on Bad Batch.
All right, okay. We'll wait till then to do that. But yeah, if you have any thoughts, guys, about the Acolyte, you know, get in touch. I'll happily talk to you about it. So will Jamie here. You can get in touch with us via our DMs, comment on our videos. Our Instagram is at WIQGDD.
Or you can email us at wiqgdd@gmail.com.
Yeah, get in touch. Let us know what you think. I've asked a couple of the lads, name drops who you've heard before, what they think about it now it's finished. I'm sure they will have the same kind of views as me and Jamie, because we're all nerds and enjoy it for what it is.
We just love a lightsaber.
Just love a lightsaber, you know. And the thing is, we haven't even talked really about how cool Qui-Gon's last fight was.
Well,
but we've run out of time, so maybe we'll touch on it as a little bonus somewhere else.
Yeah, what we might do. I'll tell you what we might do. Let's have a little production meeting online on here. Why don't we do a little lightsaber lore?
Oh, okay, that sounds good, because we should talk also about the bleeding of the lightsaber,
yes,
which we haven't seen in live action yet.
Because that's going to be something cool to talk about. So
we'll do a little bonus for that later on.
We'll tease that for a future episode.
Yeah, and you know, guys, if you get in touch, let us know what you think or thought about the Acolyte. If you think, you know, I don't want you to absolutely berate Disney, but if you think Disney is making the right decision on a few things here, let us know. Maybe we'll plug some of these comments into that bonus episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, let's keep the Star Wars hype going, and between then, just watch all of the films in order. Well, actually, in saying that, you don't have to do that now, because Disney I'll just have a quick check here.
Yeah, they do. They've got them all in chronological order.
Everything as well.
All
even the
order.
Series, they've sorted everything into timeline order. The Acolyte is in the beginning of that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's
pretty good that it's already there.
That's a cool little thing to do.
Let's
watch along and see how the technology gets worse as it progresses.
Yeah, which is crazy. Also, watch Visions. Now, I don't think the Visions are canon, but it's worth a watch for different people's perspective on the universe and what could happen. And and I've already said this, a lot of samurai sort of stuff in there, which is what we hearken to a lot about Qui-Gon and stuff, and the Jedi Order as a whole.
Yes.
Which the Acolyte has sort of disbanded, because it's based more on, like, you know, British knights round a table rather than like Ronin and samurai and stuff. But that's the evolution of the Jedi. This thing on Disney Plus is called Star Wars in Timeline Order. Very good. The series and all the films are sort of there, so you can stay. If you're watching all of these in order, you can go, right, that's after this.
Yeah.
That's after this. You know, Ahsoka. A lot of people don't know who Ahsoka was before the live action come along. You know, you can sort of see where she fits in the story, which, you know, some people need, which is good. But yeah, definitely get on with a few of those things, people. It's worth it. Let's get the conversation going. And, you know, I do want to hear what you think about the Acolyte. It's something different, but then Andor was totally different, and it blew the pants off everybody.
Exactly.
So don't always judge a book by its cover or its internet hatred.
Exactly right. Right, let's wrap up there then.
Yep.
A pleasure talking to you, as always.
As always, sir.
Look after yourself.
Be good.
And stay out of the sand.